Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I'm going to be revealing my October TBR. So as you can tell, I've got all the fall vibes going on right now. I got on my plaid, I got my fall hat on, I've got my nice spider web lights on my bookshelf. I am so ready for fall and I'm so excited about this TBR because this TBR theme is all about the creepy, spooky Halloween fall reads that I love. So everything that I'm reading this month is going to have that feel. Now there's so many books that have this feel that I've been wanting to read that I have more books on my TBR that I probably will get to. I have 8 books total on my October TBR and I probably won't get to them all. It would be amazing if I could because I want to read them all. I'm so excited about all of these and I can't wait to share them with you. So let's go ahead and jump in and go through all the books I'm hoping to read in the month of October. So the first book I'm hoping to get to is called The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. Now I've been holding on to this book since December of 2018 because I've heard this book is absolutely perfect for fall. It's got lots of fall vibes, it's creepy, it's actually kind of funny as well. I just heard it's absolutely wonderful for fall. So this is a middle grade book and we follow this boy named Prosper Redding, and the Redding family is sort of this big prominent family. They're wealthy and all of this stuff. But there's something wrong with Prosper. He finds that he actually is being possessed by a demon. And this demon actually gave his great-great-great-grandfather wealth and prosperity in exchange for eternal servitude. And apparently that grandfather broke that promise. And now Prosper is gleaning the issues with that, and he is now possessed by a demon. Apparently this demon's kind of like snarky and funny, and I don't know, this book just sounds amazing. I believe it takes place in the fall and it's got a lot of fall vibes with it, so I'm very excited to jump into this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and definitely put me in that fall and Halloween spirit. The next one on my TBR is The Twisted Ones in the Five Nights at Freddy's series by Scott Cawthon. This is the second book in the series. I read The Silver Eyes, which is the first one. I read it probably honestly over a year ago and it really creeped me out. It was super creepy. It was probably the most intense creepy book I've read, mainly because it felt like watching a horror movie. It was creepy and suspenseful, but it honestly had a lot of horror aspects and kind of like bloody murderous aspects as well, so it was pretty creepy. And I'm also a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I absolutely love Five Nights at Freddy's. I've only played it a little bit, but it's a little too terrifying for me to play, but I love watching people play it, especially Markiplier and just some other YouTubers out there. I love watching people play this game. It's so much fun, but this is such a blast to read through. If you've never heard of Five Nights at Freddy's before, it's originally made out of a video game, but there is a trilogy that's come out after the video game, and it's basically all about these possessed animatronics. Think about the animatronics you would see at Chuck E. Cheese, where you have like the creepy mouse that's like up there on the stage singing and kind of like mechanically moving. Think about that. So that's just about this Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria that is for kids. There's like an arcade and also has these animatronics. And way back in the day, one of the kids ends up getting, I think, murdered by one of the animatronics. And so the animatronics have been possessed or something. I don't know. Anyways, it's hard for me to explain, but it's super creepy. And if things like mannequins or robots moving and just sort of like doing their own thing creeps you out, then this is perfect for you. It's pretty creepy. So I'm excited to delve back into the story to see where it goes. Hopefully I'm not too chicken for it because the first one really did freak me out. Alright, after that, this is one that I had my eye on for a long time in the clearance section at Books A Million, and I finally picked it up because it just looked so darn cool. And that is called, whoop, almost dropped it, The Dead House by Dawn Kurtagic. Ooh, I have no idea how to pronounce the last name. I apologize, I butchered that, but I'm not going to try again. So The Dead House is about this, I think, boarding school back in the day that had a fire, and I think 3 students died in the fire. And there's kind of like this rumor or thought that this one girl is behind these deaths and behind this fire. But the thing is, it's about this girl, I think, that has a split personality, and her split personality is the one that started the fire, they think. So this one is a collection of psychiatric reports, witness testimonials, video footage, and a discovered diary. So it's got a really, really cool look to it. If you can see, like, diary stuff and just like little pictures and articles. I know, it just looks really, really cool. The premise sounds creepy, and also this cover looks really creepy too. So I'm pretty pumped about this one. I'm hoping I really love it. I'm hoping it was a good investment, but I'm very excited about this book and it sounds perfect for Halloween. I just love it. Okay, this next one is one that I have heard so much about and everybody seems to love it, and I still haven't gotten to it yet, so I'm excited, and that is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This story is kind of told in a different form. It's told in kind of a podcast form. So the whole thing with Sadie is that Sadie's sister was murdered, and then Sadie goes to hunt down the killer, but in the process she goes missing. And there's this local podcast, and the guy that's running the podcast kind of becomes obsessed with this case and is actually trying to see if he can figure out where Sadie is and what's happened to her. So it's supposed to be really intense, really creepy. I have heard there are a lot of trigger warnings with this one, with abuse and all sorts of different things, but I've heard it's a really intense story and it's really exciting, and it's a really interesting sort of like way that it's written, since it's kind of told in kind of a podcasty form. Also, I've heard that the audiobook is fantastic, because the audiobook is like listening to a podcast is basically what it is. So I'm hoping, I'm going to try to read it first, and if I really, really love it, I might put a hold on doing the audiobook so I can listen to it someday, because I would love to experience that in that format. I think that'd be really cool. But this book sounds really creepy and really intense, so I'm excited about this one. This one's a YA. All right, after that, I've got two more physical books here. Sorry, I can't talk. And then after that, I have two more books that I'm going to borrow from the library that I don't have with me right now, and I will explain those as well. But the next one I'm really, really hoping to get to, this is another one I've been holding on to for quite a while, and that is Stalking, Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. So this book is another booktube darling. This is one that everybody seems to love, and I've heard so much about. The very last book in the series, the fourth book in the series, has just come out, I think in August or September, and I'm really hoping to love this series. It sounds so cool. I honestly don't know a whole lot about it, other than that this story, this particular book is supposed to take place during the Jack the Ripper murders, and this girl, I think this lovely girl here on the cover, she, in this time period, she's wanting to become I believe in forensics. She's wanting to work in forensics and kind of work with the cadavers and be able to kind of like figure out murders and all that kind of stuff. She's wanting to be able to do that, and in this time period, that's, as a woman, that's unheard of to do, but she really wants to do it. And during the Jack the Ripper murder, she starts trying to figure out, I think, who the murderer is and delving in that. I don't know. That sounds really vague, and I'm not really giving a great explanation. I'm so sorry, but I really don't know much about it, which actually I'm happy about, because I think it's going to make it really fun to kind of see what this is all about. So this one sounds really creepy. I'm also going to be buddy reading this one with a friend of mine, Angie, over at Literary Labors. I will put her channel down below if you have not checked her out yet. She is wonderful. I actually got to buddy read with her in September as well. We buddy read Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab together, which was really fun, but I think I'm more excited about doing this one because it's a little bit of a longer book. I read Tunnel of Bones, which is a middle grade book. I read it so fast because I loved it, and I also I inhaled it. I read it in like 2 days, and so I felt really bad because Angie and I didn't get to like have a really in-depth discussion or really like long-term discussion about it because we both read it pretty quick, and it's a relatively short book and it's middle grade. So I'm very excited about jumping into this. I believe this is considered YA, and so I'm really excited to kind of have a little bit more to discuss and have a longer story to discuss. So anyways, this is Stalking Jack the Ripper. On that same vein, I'm also hoping to get to the second book in that series, which is called Hunting Prince Dracula. I legit don't know anyone about this one, other than the fact I think it has something to do with vampires. I think. What else do you need to know? I mean, that's like Halloween, October goodness right there. This one's also a little bit thicker than the first one, so we'll see. Hopefully I can get to all this. I really hope so, because these look so cool, and I've been holding on to these since like May, so I'm really hoping to get to them. All right, so the last two books that I really, really want to get to, hopefully, I just put on hold at the library, so hopefully I'll pick them up this week, and we'll get to them. We'll see. The first one is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. This is a nonfiction book, which is something I don't normally delve into, but I am very fascinated about it. I've also heard about it on BookTube a lot. A lot of people really love it, and a really good friend of mine over at work also suggested it to me. It's a book he really likes as well, and I was interested in reading it, and then when I realized what it was about, then I got real pumped and was like, man, this is a perfect October read. So this story follows, or sorry, this nonfiction book, not necessarily a story, but I think it's kind of told in story format, I believe, it follows the story of Henry H. Holmes, which at first I was like, okay, and then I started thinking about it and looked up who that was, and it's about this guy in history where he basically had a hotel, but it was like called the Murder Hotel, like after all this stuff went down, because he had some stuff built in the basement to like murder people. I don't know. It's real creepy. I've heard kind of the legends of this guy before, and it really freaked me out, but like freaked me out, intrigued me. What does that say about me? But anyways, once I realized who it was about, I was bumping this up on my list to be like, I need to read this soon, and I need to read this in October, because what better thing to read? And I also don't read nonfiction, so I'm interested in trying it out and trying Erik Larson out, because I've heard a lot about him as well. So I'm hoping to get to that one. The funny part is the only copy that's available at my library right now is the large print. And I feel really bad checking it out, because I'm like, what if somebody else needs that? Because I don't need a large print book. But right now, that's the only way I'm able to read it. So large print it is. All right, so the last book I'm really hoping to get to is called Lore, and it is by Aaron Mahnke. If you've never heard of Aaron Mahnke before, I think he's originally known for his podcast called Lore, and it is incredible. It's basically exactly what the name sounds. The podcast is all about different urban legends, lore, and actually one of the stories that he tells in his podcast is about Henry H. Holmes, which is how I knew about this guy. I honestly don't listen to the podcast that much because it creeps me out so much. It is so disturbing and creepy, but it's so good. It is so well done. So if you have never heard of that podcast before, he also has a TV show now as well that is exclusively on Amazon, and I've watched some of the episodes for that, and they actually take the podcast, the stuff that he's talked about in the podcast, and they've made it into a TV show, so you get to watch about all these different things that happen in history and different lore and legends and things like that, so it's really cool. And also he has this stuff in book format, so I think there are 3 books that are all called Lore, and they're all different collections, and the one my library has I think is the Monstrous collection, so it's different lore about different monsters throughout history, werewolves, vampires, things like that. So sounds like a perfect type of book to read. It's also nonfiction. It's just going to be a book with lots of different stories about different legends throughout time of creepy monsters. Perfect for Halloween, am I right? So those are all the books I'm hoping to read in October. That's a lot of them. A lot of them are pretty thick. Not like overly thick, but just more time consuming than reading middle grade. And yeah, I'm really excited about all these books. I am really hoping I can get to all of them. I don't know. My husband and I are actually going on vacation for about a week or so in October. We do that every year. It's the only vacation we take and only break we take really through the whole entire year. And my daughter is going to be staying with my parents, so it's just going to be me and my husband. So I'm hoping to get some extra reading done that week, and also kind of hoping to do a little bit of vlogging as well. So it might be like a travel reading vlog coming up for you to see. I'm really hoping so. I think it'd be fun to be able to film that and just kind of bring you along with us on our little vacation and talking about the creepy reads that I get to read over vacation as well. So all that said, are there any of these books that you have read? There may have been. Some of these are huge books and have been really, really popular. If you've read them, please let me know what you think about them. No huge spoilers or anything, please, but just let me know what you think, if you liked them or didn't like them. And also, please let me know what you're reading in October. I'd love to hear, especially if there's some like fall kind of reads that you're reading. I would love to hear about it. I would love that so much. On this side of the screen over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel and follow me on my book journey. On this side over here is the suggestion for another video if you want to watch another one right now. But thank you so much for watching. Happy fall, and don't forget to keep reading. Bye!